What is going on out there, peeps? This is the time when I go back to some of my videos and then I look at the comments and try to answer any questions that you might have. Usually you can tell these videos from the original video just because you can see right here there's a big Q&A on there. So this is going to be me responding to the comments that are down below under the video talking about NESARA, GESARA student loans. I used to do these all the time. I'm going to try to get back in the habit of that, especially on the other videos like the Iraqi dinar and the gold and silver. It's just not always easy to do that, but I'm going to try to make an effort because it allows me the opportunity to interact with people who listen to my channel. Okay, so let's get into this here in just a moment. Before we get started, though, I would appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And you guys know with everything that's going on in our markets right now, especially with inflation, interest rate hikes getting ready to take place, and an inevitable market crash getting ready to happen, you want to make sure that you protect yourself, especially if you have a 401k or an IRA account. Make sure you own and have in your possession physical gold and silver. You can reach out to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free ½ ounce of silver. So head on over there, tell them Pimpy sent you. So once again, I am doing the NESARA, GESARA videos. In case you have not figured out, my approach is much more different than a lot of other people who talk about this subject. What I do is try to go down this list right here and see what I can prove. So far, I've already been able to prove that a lot of these have either already happened or were in the beginning stages of happening. I've said this before lots of times. There's all kinds of different versions of NESARA, GESARA. People like to get into all the theatrics and everything. You know, the Bill Clinton had a gun to his head and all this stuff, which I think is ridiculous. There's no way that can ever be proven. It's just phantasm. And I've also said several times that it's not necessary that you're going to get some type of announcement. This is NESARA, GESARA. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Who knows? But it seems to me the more important thing that we should be focused on are the things on this particular list. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you'll know that how I got put into the NESARA, GESARA arena is having a conversation with a lady named April, with Jay and April from Spiritually Raw. And she was telling me that on another YouTube channel and in their Facebook group, or on their Twitter account, I think it was, that people were posting that they found out their mortgages were being paid off for some reason, student loan debt, credit card debt, and they're posting their testimonies. Well, I thought that was interesting because, you see, I've been paying on my student loan for a long time. The money was coming out automatically out of my account. But for some reason, 1 month passed and the money wasn't taken out. 2 months passed and the money wasn't taken out. And I didn't think much of it for whatever reason at the moment. So once April had informed me that people were putting down their testimonies, I said, that's interesting. And then I went to my credit report. I did a video, showed you guys live that I went to my credit report, went to where my student loan was, and there was a zero balance. Now we're talking about $157,000 gone. You see, because I don't have 1 degree. I actually have 5 of them, including the master's. So that amount of money being zeroed out of my account was, of course, not only shocking, but exciting. But I didn't want to get overly excited because I wasn't sure what was going on. And when it comes to credit, I know a lot about it. I used to fix people's credit reports for a living, one of my other many jobs. So I waited in the morning and called the creditor and I said, hey, and which is the government, by the way. And I said, hey, what happened to my federal loans, my federal student loans? I gave her my information. She looked up my account. She said, there's nothing here. It's paid off. I said, what? She goes, yes, it's paid off. There's nothing you owe. There's zero balance. I said, are you sure? Did it get transferred somewhere else? I mean, she goes, no, there's nothing to see. It's done. It's gone. For whatever reason, it's paid off. Zero balance. Well, at the same time, the woman that I was with, we checked hers, and hers was paid off. Hers was nowhere near as much as mine. Hers was only a few $1,000s. For whatever reason, our student loans were paid off. I had no answers for people who wanted to know, was this happening in alphabetical order? Was it by state? Was it by social security number? I don't know. I don't know why some people had their debt paid or removed or debt forgiven and others didn't. I have no clue what the criteria was. I just wanted to show people in the video that at least my student loan, that debt had been forgiven. I also went on to say, I don't know what you want to call it. It doesn't necessarily have to be called NESARA GESARA. But the thing to focus on the most is that it was happening for some people. Again, people are getting too caught up on the name NESARA GESARA. For centuries, there was a thing called debt jubilee. It's out there. It's real. I did a video talking about that as well. So why it is that people are so hung up on the name NESARA GESARA, I have no idea. I think what it is they've conditioned themselves so much to get sucked into that label that it triggers them. Every time they see it, no matter where it is, somehow, some way, that has a special meaning. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. So I'm going down this list here. You can see there's no clones on here. There's no people sent to Gitmo for executions and then becoming clones. There's no 17 miles of gold. This isn't that type of channel. We deal with reality. Let's get back to this video because I do want to respond to the comments. Let's go over this. Thank you, Pimpy, for continuing to bring the truth. Miss you when you aren't on here much. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you, Cherokee. I appreciate that. Whenever I'm not posting videos, you can assume pretty much the same thing every time. That is that most likely I have been put on suspension by YouTube for some type of community strike. Usually they don't let us know what it is. They just dink you. I've asked time and time again, what part is violating the community guidelines? All they do is send you a list of them and tell you to figure it out. I'm not even kidding. I got dinked twice within a couple of weeks. So my first suspension was towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, as a week suspension. I don't think it goes on about 4 or 5 days before I get hit with the second one. So back-to-back hits on YouTube for violations. And so they don't allow you to post videos. So if I'm not posting videos, most likely that's what's wrong. That's why it's important, if you have a Facebook profile, to come join us in the group. I do have a Pimpy's investment chat on Facebook. You can see right here, come join us. It's free to do so, Pimpy's investment chat. So whenever I'm suspended or there's something I want to make an announcement about, I will put it in a group here. So people aren't wondering what the heck happened to me. Most likely what'll happen is after I'm on suspension, then I start posting the videos inside Pimpy's news network. And again, the link's down below. Come join me over there. It's only $3 a month. So if I'm on suspension, then I start posting the videos over there. You could come get the information there. Praying so hard for my son's college debt to be paid off. So I'm praying for you and your son. Hopefully he is able to find a way to get out of that debt. We really do need a debt jubilee so people can start fresh. Hopefully the vast majority of the people, if not all of them, will have learned their lesson of what to do and what not to do. Then it comes down here. It says, it will be, hang on. Oh, let's talk about the debt paid off. It will be, hang on. We will all be getting our income tax paid in, returned to us as well. Yeah, well, that would be awesome. Anyways, you got all the nice people in their comments. Then you get down below, it says Michael Hamilton. Hope he pays back every penny. Like I said in the video, there are some people, or I said in the other video anyways, there are some people out there that are just upset. They busted their ass. They made their payments on time. They were responsible with paying their bills. And I get that. I get that. But a lot of people make mistakes when they're younger. And so, you know, they end up getting saddled with debt. And it's easy for people to say, well, that's your responsibility. And it is. And rightfully so. But sometimes people are not paying attention and they get in over the head, especially when you're young and you're not really paying attention to things like you should. So I think, yeah, people should have, depending on your situation, I think people should have an opportunity to start fresh. Any news that helps people be debt free is brilliant. Thank you. Look, that's what I'm going to do, you guys. So if you pay attention to my video, it might not be your mental vision of what NESARA GESARA is, but there are some things in the videos that might help you or someone you know out. So feel free to share it. And if you find something that helps you out, then please go into the group and say, hey, look, when it comes to student loan debt, where I'm at, this is what happened to me. And then make sure you leave the contact info of where people can go to see if they can get help as well. So if we all start helping each other out, you never know. It might make a huge difference in somebody's life. I did a video yesterday on medical bills, and I put information in there for individuals who are saddled with medical bill debt that they might not have been aware of. So hopefully it helps somebody out. I agree, they aren't going to say we are in NESARA. They're going to implement everything, and then you will find it that it was NESARA GESARA. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if there's going to be some official announcement of, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in NESARA GESARA. I don't know if it's going to be anything like that. All I care about is the debt jubilee. Well, I shouldn't say that's all I care about. The restoration of this constitutional republic here in the United States is another biggie for me. But look, it would make a world of difference in people's lives if we had a debt jubilee. Whether some people agree with it or not, things would be a lot more easier. There's so much tension right now. If people got their debt relieved, you'd be surprised how quickly they forget about the division that we're experiencing here in this country. That's for sure. Pimpy, oh my God, I've been receiving calls for at least 2 years about student loan forgiveness. Emails do change and addresses. My son went to ITT Technology School and it closed down unaccredited. Then received calls about tax debt forgiveness. Except for I don't owe taxes. If anything, they owed it to us. Nice, that's nice. Who do we call to get the debt forgiveness? Well, Kathy, what I would do is for the student loans, the ITT one that you're talking about, call the creditor. Call them up and say that, hey, you fall into that criteria. Because a lot of people have asked me that. For those of you who've seen this video and you meet those criterias, then what you do is you call the loan holder and tell them that you fit that criteria. And then they'll walk you through from there. That's what I would recommend. Most of these cancellations involve private for-profit schools. They don't apply to public institutions. I've been praying for a debt cancellation, but it hasn't happened. I'm a debt slave to the Department of Education. So I know in the video that I did, those are for-profit schools, but I have seen stories about other colleges doing some form of debt forgiveness. It's worth looking into. What you might try doing is calling your creditor directly, especially now with the coronavirus. This would be a good time to reach out to them. You'd be surprised how many of them have programs. All you have to say is, hey, man, look, because of the RONA, I'm having trouble financially. They have some type of debt forgiveness. What you don't want them to do is do some type of forbearance. That's when they put your payments at the end of the student loan, but you still pay interest on them. Don't fall for that. You're looking for a debt forgiveness or debt reduction or anything like that. So reach out to the creditor and see if, in fact, they'll offer that to you. And that goes with anything that you're struggling to pay back. I know our mortgage company allows that. Nice batch of info, much needed. Yep. Sharing the snoogies on this one. Pimpy, you be the sheet. I love that. Navia did not cancel my daughter's debt. They sold her debt to another company. I doubt NESARA GESARA is true. I'm not trusting much these days. Thanks, Pimpy. But the point is that Navient was the original, and they might have sold it to another creditor. That shouldn't stop you from trying. What I would do if I was your daughter is, look, call the creditor. If she falls under that criteria, let them know that, hey, she is indeed in those categories and she wants to apply for the debt forgiveness. Or she should still reach out to the creditor and say, hey, I want to apply for a debt forgiveness or debt reduction due to the RONA. But, give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try. But if she indeed meets any of those criterias, I would tell her it doesn't make a difference if her debt are sold or not. She should reach out to her creditor and say, look, I meet this criteria, and then have them get her enrolled into the program. So I would tell her to look into it. It doesn't make a difference if your debt was sold or not. I definitely have her look into it. A friend just received a letter notifying her that her $30,000 student loan was forgiven. Her school is definitely not on that list. See, that's good to hear. Teresa, thank you for this. So, and again, I've had other people approach me saying the same thing. Oh, my school gave me debt forgiveness and it's not on that list. That's a good thing. I'm just saying I found that information to share with people who might have attended that school. That doesn't mean that other schools aren't doing the same thing. This is what we need to do is more people need to share this information. If you don't have a Facebook profile and you can't join the group to share the information, leave the information down here under the comments because every little bit helps. You'd be surprised the difference you might make in even one individual's life because of something you shared that might help them out. See, Pimpy, your certain criteria for relief doesn't exist. All loans will be wiped clean. What do you mean by certain criteria? What do you mean doesn't exist? I literally just showed you in a video what the criteria was. So the criteria exists. As far as all loans, I'm just talking about... That's why when I do these videos, I got to come back and do the Q&As, just so you guys understand. So Terry, I'm not saying that all debt won't be forgiven. That's a debt jubilee. What I'm saying is there's other little small victories out there that we could take advantage of and help each other out with. That criteria exists because I showed you the criteria. That criteria exists for those individuals who qualify under those criteria. Just like Teresa said right here, a friend of hers had gotten her debt forgiven and her school's not on the list. I'm not saying if your school's not on the list, then you don't get debt forgiveness. I'm just showing you that, hey, it's out there. For student loans, it's happening. Are they private or federal loans, if you don't mind me asking? I think if you look on there, when I did the video, I'm trying to remember now, but if you watch the video again, I think it tells you it's both private and federal loans. Now, I can't speak for other people, and my debt situation was different. So actually I had a mixture of private and federal. So the funny thing is this, I did receive a letter about my private loans years ago that they forgave the debt, and I forgot what the reason was. Of course, I was happy about it because it was a few $1,000s, but the rest was all federal student loans. Thank you. This is awesome. You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, if we share with one another, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people you'd help out. Well, thank you. This is wonderful news to know is true and will happen. God bless. What do you know about VA mortgages? I went on a program shortly after Harvey tried to start paying on July 2020. Here it is 2022 and they are still stalling. My apologies, Carol, because I'm not sure. There's some details missing. So what do I know about VA mortgages? Well, it just depends. You said you went on the program, so I'm guessing the VA mortgage program. Shortly after Harvey, I'm not sure who Harvey is, tried to start paying in July 2020. Here it is 2022 and they are still stalling. What are they stalling on? I'm not sure. I need a little more details, sweetie. Okay, so I can help. Great to see you back, Pimpy. Thank you. Thank you. The legend. NESARA GESARA was already publicly announced by ticker tape, strolling across the bottom of the screen on January 15th at a Trump rally. So is that right? Was it announced? Is that how they're going to announce it, is by ticker tape? It wasn't an announcement that was on the ticker tape. For those of you who don't know what Foster Farm is talking about here, during Trump rally, this came across the bottom of the screen. It said NESARA GESARA. You can see it here. NESARA GESARA. Oh man, when I saw that, I said people are going to flip the hell out. You see, down here are companies and individuals who donate money to Right Side Broadcast, and you're allowed to put down here what you want, your name or the name of the company. And so what happened is somebody donated money and they just put down there NESARA GESARA. This isn't an announcement. Somebody who's very familiar with NESARA GESARA donated the money just so they can have NESARA GESARA go across the bottom and drive everybody crazy. I don't know how people can think this is some type of official announcement. That would be the most unorthodox, most unexcited way to announce it. There would be absolutely an official individual standing up to a podium, all media on them, and they would say, "My fellow Americans and citizens around the world," because that would be a big thing to do. So, no, that's not an announcement. That's just somebody who donated money. And when they say, "Do you want to use a name or a company name or anything?" It's like giving a shout out. "Hey, you donated some money. We're going to give you a shout out at the bottom of the screen." And somebody said, "Yeah, shout me out. NESARA, GESARA." Good to hear from you, Pimpy. Stop getting YouTube. Yeah, look at this. Not the funny thing is this, Josh. I get strikes for videos that are like months old and that have been already through human review. So when I reach out to them and I say, "What the hell? This has already been through human review. How is it now all of a sudden magically a strike?" They don't answer. They just randomly screw with people. He doesn't know what he's talking about. When NESARA is revealed, all loans and student loans who were through bank charging interest will all be wiped clean. It's not just these in his list. I love, here comes Terry again, same as above. For some reason, Terry's not understanding the video. All credit debt also that had interest. But anyways, yeah, you're going to tell me I don't know about NESARA, GESARA. Good Lord, I've been doing videos now for years. So yeah, I'm very familiar with it. You're just not paying attention to what I'm saying in the video is what it is. Issue is when bills are due now. Well, this is interesting. It's not no one else's fault about your bills. Thank you for putting it out. If this wasn't going to happen, the bills still come in. I don't know when, but it will happen. If when it's announced, all gets wiped clean. That's all I can say. Is that all you can say? Then you're not paying attention to NESARA, GESARA, because there's a lot more than that. So it's nice of Terry here to point out the fact that your bills are your problem. I'm starting to believe this again. Here's the thing. People started losing hope when they started hearing all these hokey pokey stories about JFK Jr. and people going to Gitmo. Don't get caught up in those stories. Nobody has been to Gitmo, tried and executed. The funny thing about all those stories is this: people are not paying attention to the fact that over the years, a same person has been tried and executed multiple times. So like 2 years ago, hey, Hillary went to Gitmo and she was tried and executed 2 years ago. 7 months later, like, guess who went to Gitmo? Hillary did today, and she was tried. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Is that the clone or is that the real one? Then about 6 months after, they go, Hillary is at Gitmo again. Or, the same people kept going to Gitmo multiple times, being tried multiple times, and being executed multiple times. My guess is it's their clones. In my opinion, you should just focus on the items because that's really what's important. Debt relief for everybody is definitely one of the things that would help everyone around the world out. A fresh new start, especially after our own governments created most of these issues. Don't get me wrong, you are still responsible for your own debt, but the government does play a big part of it. All my school is on there and I need to get started. Yeah, reach out to your creditors and let them know that, hey, your school is on that list. Yeah, if you pause the video, I believe in there might be some contact phone numbers you could call and see if they can help you. My school's on the list in Iowa. Only I attended 2009 through 2012 online from Texas. Wonder if I qualify. I think the years were from... Go back in the video, Dorothy, and you'll see the years. It tells you. I think it's from like 2008 through 2016 or something like that, or 2004 through 2016. I forgot what it was, but these years right here, I'm more than sure it qualifies. So just go back and watch the video and you'll see what the criteria are. So I would reach out to your creditor and let them know that your school's on that list and you want to enroll into the program for debt relief. Yeah, that's the same thing I say. Maybe try it anyway. Thank you. You're very welcome. Sorry, Pimpy, but there is no truth in NESARA. Yeah, Kevin, again, people I think are getting caught up in all these crazy stories and the label of NESARA, GESARA. So what I try to do is keep people grounded here. I call it NESARA, GESARA on there to just get people's attention because the topics are related to what people are out there talking about when it comes to NESARA GESARA, but I am more grounded. I don't go off with those JFK was standing on the top of, Mount Rushmore, stuff like that. I don't get into those kind of kooky stories. I mean, I have done videos. I did a video called The Return of the Prince, which is a what if scenario. I mean, it really would have changed everything if that were true about JFK Jr. Now, here's something kind of interesting that I'll share with you guys. I am going to actually be attending a conference with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So I'm hoping to have an opportunity to talk to him about the fact that on one of his videos, when people asked him about Jr., told him to touch his nose, and he touched his nose. So I'm going to see if I can corner him on that action and see if I can get him to talk about it and hopefully do an interview with him. You have transitioned into a salesperson. I'm out. A salesperson? Transitioned into a salesperson. Yeah, not sure. Into a salesperson. Or if you're talking about those people who sponsor or affiliated on my program, yeah, that's how you get the bills paid. I enjoy your channel, Pimpy, but please stop with the advertisements with every video. Tacky and annoying, probably cost you more views than you might realize. Oh, that's on you. Everybody has a right to tune in or go away, but that's how we pay the bills. It helps to pay thank you, Lady Nada. It helps to pay the bills, dude. Just fast forward. There you go. Because it's not going to stop you guys. The information on there is important. And it's not just ads. There's stuff on there that people need to know about. Like when you go into comments, be careful for people posing as if they're me and taking money from you. So those announcements are on there. Some of them I have to make publicly as well. Like, hey, some of the information that I share is considered copywritten, things like that. You have to announce them. You have to see what some of the rules are when you're doing YouTube. So some of these things are necessary. As I went along, I was learning. They're like, why aren't you doing this? I didn't know I had to do that. So now because YouTube tells you have to do it, you have to do it. You back then, who won the silver coins? So here is the winner of the 100 silver ounces. The gentleman's name is Bill. He's in Essex Junction, Vermont. And you got to excuse me. I had to wipe out some of it here because it's personal information. And I'm not sure if Bill wanted us to tell the world who he was and how you could locate him, okay? But just know that Bill from Essex Junction has won the 100 silver ounces. When I found out who won, I started to make that announcement, and I got thrown into my first suspension. So I never did continue to let people know. But yes, a gentleman named Bill has won the 100 ounces. Whatever happened, sorry. Well, you shouldn't be sorry. Not unless you're the one stopping it, huh? No, just kidding. Never happened. Actually, a lot of the items on the list have already happened. I've made videos showing you, and I will continue to do so. Now, as far as calling it an official NESARA GESARA, well, I agree. Most likely that's not how it's going to work. People need to stop doing NESARA GESARA vids. It's all BS. Yeah, look, the truth of the matter is, when I was on my suspension, I went to go check out other YouTubers just to see if anything's changed, and it's not. When it comes to NESARA GESARA, they're still out there. That's what I was just talking about in the last video. I said, there's a couple friends of mine, and they're like, we're watching these other people talk, and it's like, dude, they're so full of crap, man, the stuff that they peddle. And I go, but that's just it. I think people love to be lied to. They love it. They suck this stuff up. If you just go on there telling some stories about JFK Jr. getting ready to pop up somewhere and stuff like that, oh, good Lord. Because some of these other YouTube channels have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They get like 50, 100, 150,000 views on their videos. And I was like, eek, man, look at that. That's actually butt kicking, man. Hey, more power to them. But, it only goes to show that people are more drawn to these people who pump hopium up their buttholes instead of being more grounded. And I said, I told my friend, I said, look, I think these people prefer to be lied to. But then after reflecting on it, it's not so much that they want to be lied to as much as they just are looking for any kind of hope is what it is. And as much as, how much of the stuff they're believing, that might be different altogether. Or maybe they're just people who like the stories and so they tune in. But, all the stories that I heard out there, still, like the latest version, I'm not even kidding you. The latest version, somebody sent me one of these Nick Fleming videos again. And I was like, what the hell's on there? And in there, it makes the claim that Trump is the one this time who stopped NESARA GESARA. I was like, what? Uh-oh. What are you doing? Are you saying Trump stopped NESARA GESARA? Yeah, in there he said, yeah, Trump stopped NESARA GESARA this time because of blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa. There's always going to be excuses for who stopped what. First it was the Bushes and the Bill Clintons, and there's always something. Okay, don't get caught up in the stories. Focus on what's most important. The items on the list, are they being taken care of? Isn't that why we care about NESARA GESARA? Is because we want those things to be taken care of. So try to stay grounded and focus on those. But if you guys want me to blow smoke up your ass all day and tell you fictitious stories, trust me, nobody out there could be a better storyteller than me. So I just prefer not to do that. Why are you looking them up? That's funny. Likely because the people that believe are hilarious. It is not BS. It's real. Believe in something good. So yeah, my whole thing on NESARA GESARA, when I first heard about it, I said, "Oh, this is awesome. What is the reality of this?" So I started doing my research into all the items on there. And what I realized is I kept focusing too much on looking for some official NESARA GESARA thing, and everything that I can find out there actually was bullshit. But, it got me to tune out from all those content creators who go down into la la land and focus on the things that are most important. So when I went out there and I heard all these stories about the Saint Germains and the aliens coming down and the clones, I was like, oh God, no. And then one day I paused and I said, look at these items on this list. I wonder if any of these are actually happening at the moment. So I did videos showing you that a lot of those items were already happening, if not already complete. And that's what I'm going to go through today. And that is the items on the list are what's most important. So I will show you, I will make videos with information that I hope can help you. Whether or not you want to call it NESARA GESARA, that's up to you. But all this information helps somebody out there. And that's what's most important. So if each of us are out there and we are looking into these particular subject matters, like people now are going to start reaching out to the creditors about their student loan debt, or they're going to see if they indeed fit this criteria and if their school's on this list. But again, I must suggest that even if your school's not on this list, that you reach out to them, reach out to your creditor. You'd be surprised. And if you find out that indeed you can get some form of debt relief, or, whether it's reduced or debt forgiveness altogether, please come share the details in the Facebook group. Go in there and say, look, this is the college. This was my debt. You don't have to give your personal information out. This is the creditor. They have a program called so-and-so. This is the phone number. Reach out to them. I did this and I got help. If we share this information with other people, you'd be surprised how many other people you're able to help. That's what we need to do. Come together as a community. Let's help each other out. All right? God bless. That's it for now. I'm out.